Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
And Todd Pleasant's birthday is tomorrow, everybody. Wish him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Todd.
Thanks, guys.
Do all the wishing you want on social media. He's not there to see it.
That's right. Yes. Thank you all for all your kind words. I'll see it again in 3 or 4 months when I go looking for something.
We'll tell him about it.
Yeah, we'll tell you about it.
I just did.
But it'll be too late anyway by the time you listen to this. So happy birthday.
Yeah.
What we're going to talk about some stuff. The stuff we planned last week, we're going to talk about this week
because we
got into the auction, which was a bit of a bloodbath. But more on that later. No, it was fine.
It was.
No.
I know we talked heavily about it in the last show. That went on for the next 2 days.
Oh yeah, it was relentless. It was.
That was the first day, right? Yeah, third day was kind of. I didn't really watch the first day. I did buy something. We'll talk about that in a future episode. I bought something on day 2.
Yeah. Day two.
So Dave bought
something
something
even look at
after
day 3.
first saying he bought something. And because he cried wolf on the first thing, I didn't believe him on the second thing until a few minutes ago.
Weren't involved in all the
You weren't really following the text thread because he was very clear about what he bought.
Okay, well, again, it was like, anyways. Yeah.
It was one of those last things. You're hovering over the button like, no. Hopefully I get outbid. It's all good. It's all good.
And I did, I said I was going to bid on the lost Virgin Mary statue, and I did, but I got way outbid. And that thing was interesting because I looked up online to see how much they had sold for previously, and just a year ago there was an auction at the same auction house where they sold 2 of them in a wooden crate from the show for less than what this one sold by itself. Just to give you some sense of how much the value, or I don't know, say value, the cost of these things have gone up.
It's been insane. I got to say,
stuff is out of control.
And when you say a year ago, there is no, everything's off the table. It will be really interesting to see what happens a year from now. Whether this is just like people haven't spent anything for a year and just need a place for the money to go, or whether this is just off the hook.
Yeah, I think it's both. I think it's just.
We've got a housing bubble that's about to burst, I think, and we'll see if it's a collectible bubble too.
The one of the things I noticed is that compared to the last one I watched closely, I think a lot more items actually sold versus passed.
It felt like a lot of passes,
but not like previously.
Yeah, there were a lot of items, and actually, I don't know if you guys got the email. There was an email that like all the past items you could make an offer on.
Yeah,
I'm hearing they're not taking offers too well. I don't know about that, but there wasn't anything crazy in there. But you know what? First of all, we had talked about. I don't know if we did it on the show or not, but there were 3 Planet of the Apes masks. Yeah. Those went for way more than we would have paid.
Yes.
You know what was kind of cool that I have a feeling one of those dudes on that Props podcast may have bought. They had 3 call sheets from the original Star Trek series. I thought that was interesting. That wasn't on my radar in the beginning.
Yeah, I heard them talking about it. I don't collect call sheets, and I'm not looking to get into starting some new kind of collection that I didn't have before.
Yeah, still, it's an interesting piece of history.
It was for a specific show. It's interesting. Yeah. I have some call sheets if you want to buy them.
Okay.
Oh, from what? From those weird shows you worked on?
The weird show. I probably have some mermaid ones. I don't know. Not that. That's probably the.
Anyways, all the stuff is online, people. If you want to check it out, there's a lot of. Like I said, the landscape has shifted a lot. There's a lot of things that went for just unfathomable money, and now I guess that's fathomable money. So it's like.
Well, and in the middle of that auction, there was another auction. There was a Hakes auction, and I texted this to Daryl because I knew it would blow his mind. A rocket-firing Boba Fett prototype sold for $165,000. While that other prop auction was going on, so there was a toy auction too.
That's what
$165,000
going rate.
Yeah. There you go.
That's I spent that much on my first home.
But you can't play with your house.
This is true.
I guess you can't play with rocket fire.
My house didn't fire rockets out of its backpack.
Yeah.
That's right.
Neither did. Yeah. Anyway, all right. So we'll talk about that. Let's go random. Barry, what do you got?
So I want to talk a little bit about Rogue Squadron, the Patty Jenkins movie.
Oh, I have a Patty Jenkins thing too.
Oh, okay. Is it
A
about
different
Rogue
one.
Squadron?
No.
Okay, good. So they have a writer. They've announced the writer, and
yeah.
it's a guy named Matthew Robinson who wrote something called Love and Monsters, which I haven't seen, so I can't say anything good or bad. He also recently, I guess, wrote the script for the Live Die Repeat sequel. I guess, or the whatever the hell that movie's called, but I guess the sequel is going to be called Live Die Repeat.
Which they're not making.
Oh, Live Die
at this
Repeat
moment.
and Repeat. I think it's
Yeah.
called. Yeah. And he also wrote Little Shop of Horrors, so the new one. So that information came out like 2 weeks ago. Yesterday, she said that they were actually in development 6 months prior to the announcement that she was directing, so they were like well into development already. And she said that they're pretty far along. They haven't obviously started shooting, but so they've got a script and they're putting a staff together. She said so. It's moving along.
I felt good about that on December 24th.
Yeah.
On December 25th, not so much.
Yeah, well,
And she said in another, maybe in the same interview, but about something else, she doesn't believe in the streaming model. And I quote, "Our studio is going to give up billion-dollar movies just to support their streaming services." To which I say, your second movie you'd be lucky for it to be a $50 million movie. You're such a piece of shit.
Yeah. The thing
well, and these studios are investing so heavily in their streaming services as the future of their brand that yes, that it is exactly what they're doing in a lot of cases.
Yeah, but they are. I mean, it's just like, and then they had a picture of Wonder Woman 3 in theaters only. Does she know her movie was just one of the worst movies ever made?
Yeah, the other thing with that, and I think I did mention this, was in an interview she said that the thing that was better about the second movie was she had a lot more creative control than she was allowed to have in the first movie. And I was just like, whoa.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
That
because
frightens
maybe
me.
what we thought was Patty Jenkins
Was
wasn't
her.
really Patty Jenkins.
Wasn't
maybe
her.
it was the controls the studio had. But anyways, by all means, rewatch the first Wonder Woman film. It's always good.
Have either of you rewatched Wonder Woman 84, or have you only seen it the one time?
I have come across it on TV. I've turned it on, and I just couldn't stay with it for more than a minute.
Barry, it's funny you said that because I've actually been thinking about rewatching it, and I've been thinking about with lowered expectations whether or not I could find it a better film. I do remember it just being like mind-numbingly bad, and it might be better than that, but
Did you watch it again, Barry?
No, you know what? I'm same as you, Dave. I was flipping through channels and it was on, and I saw the sort of the car chase scene for about 2 minutes, and then I turned it off.
It's just there's not, even if it was like, oh, if it came to this section, maybe I'd watch it, but I don't think there's any section that it could come to. And I'll watch the original or whatever Justice League if it's on. I'll watch little snippets of it, and that was not good. This is just
the thing that
horrifically bad.
The thing that I can still kind of accept is Gal Gadot just looks fantastic. So I'll watch it for a few minutes just to see her. But yeah, the just I don't remember there being anything redeeming about that movie or any that car chase scene action sequence was okay, but it was that was so ridiculous. Like I know there's always over the top action scenes, but should have been some dead kids in that scene based on the dynamics and the physics of what was going
I don't
on.
even like this. I think the scene I tuned into was when they were in Pedro Pascal's office.
None of the
can't
Pedro
see
Pascal
him.
stuff is good.
I
No.
can't see that. What's that movie? What's that movie with her and John Hamm and they're spies and they live next door to.
Oh, I know which
right,
one you're
yes.
talking about. Yeah.
With the neighbors, yes.
Yeah,
She's neighbors
Isla
with Lois
Fisher.
Lane. No, not Lois. Not Amy.
You're thinking Amy
Isla
Adams, not
Fisher,
Amy
not
Adams.
Amy
Other
Adams, yeah.
redhead, other
Yeah.
cute
Yeah,
redhead.
the other-
Anyway, she's in her underwear in that. Tune into that if you want to see her.
Yeah.
This was not a good movie and will not retroactively improve. But like I said, I think I was probably yeah, I was.
I would have loved I would have loved for it to be so. I mean, I wanted it to be great, but just to be able to say, you know what? All right, all the other movies have been lackluster, but for the Wonder Woman franchise is alive and
I agree
Yeah,
entirely
I know.
with you, Barry, and I had, and that's the other reason is I think I had unrealistic expectations based on that, because it was so superior to some of the other stuff that I felt like, oh yeah, well, totally, this is going to be there, and
They should have gone so many other directions. They didn't need to bring Steve back. The way they did it didn't
Oh,
make sense. Like
And that
none
stupid
of that
outfit
worked.
and the whole
Yeah.
bringing him back. It was just, and the bad guy was. We've been through this.
No,
don't
we
to
have. We
But would you say? Let's say I know Barry's favorite is Man of Steel, but Man of Steel, Justice League, it's worse than all those. I think. Right.
Based on the one viewing and my memory of it, yes, but
I think so. It's. I mean, of those modern.
maybe it's not worse than Suicide Squad.
oh, it's not worse than Suicide Squad, and it's probably not as bad as
It's-
Batman versus Superman.
Oh, I think it is.
No, that movie.
I think
is,
it's
that,
way worse than Batman
no,
vs
no.
Superman.
That movie
and the
is
superior Batman vs Superman director's cut.
Jesus.
Okay. Todd, what do you have?
Okay.
Guy went and Barry went.
Okay. Kind of in the same, by a reach, in the same vein, and this maybe should have been a last thought, but I'm going to say it now. Richard Donner, who created created both the first viable superhero film and the superhero franchise, just passed away at 91. And
Yep, I had this penciled in as a final thought.
You
but we can
did?
do it now.
Well, even though
Seriously?
you didn't like,
You don't like the movie.
Barry didn't like Superman.
Hang on, he made Goonies. He made Lethal Weapon. He made Scrooge. he made
Anyways,
great
yes,
films.
yes, he did all those things.
Scrooge is amazing.
He did all those things. Shut up, Barry. It's my turn.
Scrooge is the Willow of Christmas
Please.
movies. No, I'm
Okay.
joking.
And but like I said, honestly, he showed that the superhero franchise was a viable thing, and made at least two very, very good Superman films. So, anyways,
I'd agree with both those statements.
yeah, and
He directed Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
great.
He did all four of them, I believe, but the first one.
Like I said, Lethal Weapon was great.
yes, exactly,
It's not
and that's
as-
why I said two good.
Not the
Superman
Matrix
films.
bad, but
There is a line from, I think it's Lethal Weapon 2 or 3 that gets repeated in my house at least once a month. They fuck you at the drive-thru.
I don't.
That just
who
doesn't.
says that? Joe Pesci.
Yeah,
Joe Pesci.
that's three.
That's it.
right.
That's exact. Like Lethal
it's
Weapon. Joe Pesci. No offense to Joe Pesci. Amazing Casino.
Yeah,
Goodfellas. My cousin Vinny. He has no business being in Lethal Weapon.
he was also like a parody of his previous characters.
I enjoyed all the
Exactly.
Lethal Weapon movies. Lethal Weapon 1, clearly far and above the rest, but they're all good. They're all fun.
You're the guy who loves the second and third Back to the Futures too.
No. Second, I do not like the third Back to the Future movie nearly as much.
I think that's okay. You know what we're gonna do?
we should do that trilogy thing I talked about.
No, we'll do the trilogy, and then we'll also tie in what movies should have stopped, and we will have arguments about that.
Oh, for sure.
Future show, people. It won't be until like August, but
All right, but I will not let you off on your Scrooge comments. Scrooge is a fantastic movie.
I don't love it. I've seen it. Maybe I find it sad. Karen Allen's good in it. Bill Murray's good in it. What's the matter?
Karen's opening the garage door. I heard
Oh,
it.
Karen Allen is opening the garage
She's
door.
coming to Todd's house.
Let her
right now.
in. Get her in.
She's exercising that that's order of protection.
We haven't had her on the show in years.
Yeah. Okay.
We've had her on the show.
She was our very first guest ever.
Our
8 years
first
ago.
tag
Yeah.
and our first. Well, she wasn't our first guest. We interviewed her.
First Desert Island
Was she?
DVD too, right?
I think so. She was awesome. Anyway, are we still waiting?
Yep. Oh, and I had one other quick thing.
Go ahead.
Inexplicably, but I kind of love this. Sideshow is making a Big Lebowski figure.
The dude.
The dude abides. It's kind of amazing. I will say it's probably the first 1/6 scale figure I've ever seen that has a joint, and a White Russian. So it's check it out if you're a Big Lebowski fan. It would definitely be a non sequitur among my 1/6 scale figures, but it's calling me. So
I think you need that.
Any other?
No, I don't
random?
have any other random.
I have some, but
Go for it. We're only 16 minutes in.
did we talk about this? FX is making an Aliens TV show.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it when we first heard about it, but there hasn't been a lot of news about it.
So Noah Hawley was in an interview in the Hollywood Reporter. He's making it. It does not center around Ripley, and he said because that character has been perfectly portrayed, at least I guess in Aliens. I guess he's mentioning maybe not the other movies. Yeah. And it does take place on Earth, and the whole idea is every time we've had aliens, it's been like they're in a prison, on a ship, whatever. What happens when they're just not containable?
This was one of my pitches when we did in like our early episodes. I said there needs to be an alien TV series where they make it to Earth. So someone owes me money.
Oh, he does, I think.
I hope that works. I mean, one of the things that worked so well in the first two Alien movies is that, I mean, even in the second Aliens, there's a lot more of them, but it's not like they're just running rampant all over.
But the thing is, you need to do it, and you need to do it with a succession of confined spaces, and you have them land, land in the Arctic, and you have them whatever, or way out in the.
Like you never see them out running on the open space. They're always still in hallways, in
ceilings.
Oh yeah,
no, and again, there's got to be a lot of it at night, but I think
in air ducts. It's that's where they work.
I think if they end up on a ship that crashes, like a ship that comes back to Earth, under remote control and crashes and whatever, they can stretch this out. But I think there's a lot of potential for. We've also seen them a lot in confined spaces. That could be interesting if that's how they operate. That's how this breed functions. That they will find their way.
Well,
to
they do sort of build those cocoons.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the thing. Like I don't see them just like sort of running down the street.
Not
I want to see them.
Running.
You don't want to see a dozen running down through Times Square.
No, but you would get that. They would go into the sewers.
That would be cool. Anyway, we'll see. I'd feel better if it was Netflix or Amazon or Apple. For FX,
he's done some good stuff on FX. I got to say,
but they don't have the leeway of
right
holding on to stuff. But yeah, he did do Fargo, and he did something else.
Fargo, and he did.
Your Legion. That's Legion.
It's not just my Legion, but
it is your Legion.
It was both of our Legion.
Yeah, exactly.
What makes me a little, just I with all the alien stuff that's happened since the good movies, right? They'll do Prometheus and they'll do all those movies. They're doing this series. The Alien vs Predator crap. But that one really good story that they had, that Blomkamp story with Ripley and Hicks, that they won't do.
Well, I mean that was also a kind of more of a pitch than anything. And yes, there was a fully developed script, but it wasn't. Nothing was done with it, but
you had Sigourney Weaver on board saying she'd do it.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing as yeah.
My point is though that the studios gets behind all this other stuff, but that which was probably a guaranteed home run, they didn't get behind.
I don't know that. I don't know that was a guaranteed home run.
Well, it's better than Prometheus 3 or whatever the hell.
I for the same reason that I think the indie film is risky. I think you build a film around protagonists in their 60s, you're going to have a tough time with that. An action film around protagonists in their 60s. It's you've got to do a lot of building.
You bring someone else in.
That's what I'm saying. You've got to do a lot of building.
Look at Crystal Skull. That worked.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. It could very much be another Crystal Skull.
Look at a movie like Red, though. I mean, like Red and Red 2.
Excellent point.
Excellent movies, and they were based around older characters, and there was a lot of action in those movies.
That's a good point. Right, but the premise was older characters. Okay, it wasn't a continuation. No, but Red was not a continuation of, a story about this guy.
Yeah, but I could see those.
This wasn't
two,
a follow up to the character from 30 years earlier.
But those characters doing something interesting, I think, could be good.
Yeah.
Anyway, hope maybe we'll see that. We got time. I mean, as long as everyone's still alive.
And also,
Michael Bihn's
principal actor in
a little
Red was playing to being much older than he actually was. And in the original story, he was meant to be like on the edge of 70. So it's we'll see.
Well, Barry and I are going to call Sigourney and produce it.
Yeah, really.
I think you should. Let me know how that works out.
And Michael Bihn's wife is on board. She'll produce it.
There have been
fabulous.
a number of good stories around Amanda Ripley, and I think they could do something like that.
She died.
So, but
I would have liked to have them do something that redeemed all of those characters. And not just have them-
absolutely. No question
I
there.
caught a little bit of Alien 3 on TV over the weekend, and it's as bad as I remember.
Director's cut is awesome.
Director's cut's better, but still
I'm
bad.
kidding. I've never seen it.
Director's cut is better,
And
but
I
still
can tell
bad.
you, I will never.
I can imagine
I
it's
never
better because
will.
David Fincher is actually really good. I mean, so I haven't seen it.
Listen, like I said, it is a better film than the actual cut. It doesn't make it good though. It's still bad.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of baggage, and that can go into our show too. What movie franchise has the most baggage? Jesus, Alien 3, 4, Alien versus Predator 1 and 2, maybe? Are there 2 of
I
those?
think there's 3.
Prometheus,
but I could be wrong.
Alien
Prometheus,
Covenant. There is a
Alien
lot of
Covenant.
crap for 2 good movies.
Yeah.
You know who doesn't have a lot of crap? Fanboy Collectibles. They have a lot of awesome stuff
Wow.
that you need to buy.
Not even
All the
not
good
even
stuff.
a chance to respond to that. Okay.
Check this Hot Toy Scout Trooper in stock. Barry, did you buy that?
Yeah, of course I bought it.
Okay, that's in stock. White Vision, we knew that was coming. That is up for pre-order. A couple of Iron Studios Mando statues, if you like statues. A couple of those look pretty cool. Plus, and Pops and Hot Toys and Sideshow and Kotobukias and something maybe obscure. Gentle Giant stuff and anything else that
And I'm just going to throw a shout out to Troy and their awesome customer service, because not only did I buy the Scout Trooper, but something else that I bought he knows is coming in the next day or two. And so he said to me, I'm going to wait and I'm going to give you shipping total we'll pack them both in one box and ship it out to you and save you shipping money.
great.
So
Yeah.
he does that kind of
is
stuff.
the-
Not just for us, but for everybody.
Is the other
so.
thing coming in something that I have pre-ordered too?
No.
Oh, okay.
They,
I got a lot of stuff coming soon. I got to say.
Yeah. It's all showing up.
Yeah.
It's gonna
They,
be an
they
expensive
take care
one.
of their customers.
they do.
Check them out.
That Iron Man,
Online?
the Iron Man statue. I don't know if we talked about that before. That looks great. That classic.
You need another
classic,
Iron Man.
Classic Iron Man.
FanboyCollectibles.com. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut. Todd may be there.
That's right.
Tell them Regular Joe sent you. Okay. What are we doing now? We're going to talk about shows we're watching now, except for Loki. We'll talk about that later. There's so much stuff coming up later. There's the summer full of awesomeness.
We can't give it all to you in one shot. We got to dole it out
Exactly.
in small doses.
So shows and movies. Well, let's talk shows first that we're watching. There's not a ton on. Right?
No.
Todd, well, you're probably watching the most. What are you watching?
I'm not watching that much. I got to say, there's 2 things weekly right now that I'm watching, and obviously Loki is one of them. The other, Evil, came back. It's in the 3rd episode. I'm not talking to either of you about this because you don't care. But it's been awesome, and it moved from CBS to, it was a number of people called it, credible people, including like Variety and Entertainment, called it the best new show on network TV. But as I was watching it, I knew there was like zero chance this was either going to get picked up or stay on network TV. And this is kind of my best hope, because being on Paramount, they can do a lot of things they couldn't do previously.
Paramount Plus. For
But
those
I'm saying
people
that
keeping score.
there's an element to the premise that changed between, well, it was in the or the end of season 1, which would make it impossible to put season 2 on conventional TV. So, let's just say one of the principal characters is a murderer, and they're going with that.
I'm gonna guess that's why the show is called Evil.
No, there's a lot of good reasons.
Like people possessed and stuff or something?
There's some possession or whatnot, but there's one guy who's basically, well, there's very Michael Emerson of Lost is one of the most genuinely evil characters you've ever seen, and he does an amazing job. He makes Ben Linus seem like a lightweight. He really does.
Well, you didn't tell me Michael Emerson was in it. Now maybe I'll watch it.
And it's freaking amazing, Terry. I'm telling you, it is. And
so it's the dude from Iron Fist or Luke Cage.
Luke Cage. It's probably the best thing he's, and he is so incredibly evil. It's fantastic, but there's a lot of other evil too. But like I said, one of the main characters has killed somebody, and thus far there's not repercussions for that. So, like I said, I don't think a regular TV show has ever done that before. It's
interesting.
It's not like, I mean, Dexter was in Showtime and stuff like that. But like I said, one of these
Magnum
people is a confessed.
Shot Ivan in the back.
One of these people is a confessed, unrepentant murderer. So, But anyways, like I said, it's awesome. The 4th episode just aired. Really, really good. I think there's 13 episodes around this time. If you like X-Files, if you like Fringe, that kind of thing, it fits in that vein, sort of. It's, the kind of unexplained, weird stuff. And it's just awesome. Like I said, I love every second of it. And it's, like I said, my favorite thing I'm watching right now.
It's interesting. Paramount Plus, a week ago, all the Indiana Jones movies are on Paramount Plus, and I looked today, and they're not on there.
That is really strange.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Because I went to look for them on Disney,
which is where you think they would be,
and they're not because they're owned by Paramount.
Yeah.
And then I found it on Paramount. I was watching some clips, and I just wanted to watch some scenes of some stuff, and now they're not there, which is weird.
Yeah, well, maybe it was a limited thing for the anniversary.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. It's odd. I mean, but like, where are they? Maybe they're not. Maybe they took them down so you buy the Blu-rays, the 4Ks.
Yeah, it might have been. It might have just been a stunt to get them up there for the holiday weekend.
Yeah, yeah, maybe that was it. Interesting, but I mean, they're a little selective. We'll see. Barry, what are you watching?
Well, Todd mentioned Ben Linus, but just for anybody who's keeping score, we are halfway through season 2 of our rewatch of Lost, and it is still amazing. Just saying, hasn't taken a turn yet. But
come back to us in 20 episodes.
Yeah, I know, but I'm loving every minute of rewatching it. It's as good as I remembered, and binge watching it in this way, where we're watching 2 or 3 episodes a night, and some nights, because no commercials and they're only 45 minutes apiece. It's just so enjoyable. So if you liked it when it aired, I highly recommend rewatching it and then stopping at whatever point you want to bail. But we're really liking it, and my son, who never saw it before, is loving it. So anyway, but new stuff. So I have continued to watch The Bad Batch every week. I know you guys made it maybe 1 or 2 episodes in and haven't finished yet.
I think I watched 3 or maybe 4. I don't know.
So, obviously I watch everything that's got a Star Wars label on it. I believe one of you once said I would buy a bag of dog shit if it had Star Wars on it.
I think I said a turd, but yeah, with a Star Wars logo.
Yeah. but this is great stuff. I mean, story-wise, it's exactly what you would expect. It feels exactly like a continuation of the Clone Wars. It's not super dark. It's not super heavy, but the animation is beautiful, cinematic, at totally the high quality. There was an episode where they were on a planet where it was like in the clouds, and they had some shots where there was a lot of tension and drama, and everything was obscured by these clouds, and it was like I couldn't believe how beautiful it looked. But it's been really good. They are, I think, 10 episodes in it as we record this.
Of how many?
So I think 16.
Okay. So Barry, can I ask you a question?
Yep.
Okay. On the annoying scale, which we would say first season as Ezra Bridger and first 2 seasons Ahsoka Tano. Where does this kid fit? Where does Omega fit in?
Not nearly as annoying.
Okay, good. Because that's my
she's
fear.
Far more capable.
I've been making you pre-watch because eventually I will catch up. But because it was just, like I said, as soon as they injected this kid into this, I was like, oh, God. Now we got to do this
She's far more
again.
capable than either of those two were at that stage.
Okay.
Obviously, Ahsoka and Ezra became very capable. But
They did. And they became very interesting and compelling characters. It was just that the time to grow was just excruciating.
Yeah,
So.
she's very capable. Obviously she's still a kid. They're looking out for her, but I'm not going to give anything away because I know you are going to go back and watch. She's got multiple bounty hunters chasing her. So, like, while they're doing what they're doing, they're constantly sort of being, come at by bounty hunters. One of which is Fennec Shan from Mandalorian. They have given an explanation of who she is. Not so much what the Kaminoans want with her, but we now know who she is.
Okay.
And they've actually, I won't say who, but they've actually gone as far as to kill a character that we knew from Attack of the Clones. So they are doing more with it.
Yeah, again,
than
I'm gonna pick it. I also like to binge watch these. I got to say, I don't have the attention span.
when they're only 24 minutes.
That's what I'm
apiece,
saying. I don't have the
Yeah,
attention
yeah.
span to, and I'll
It's tough to do that a weekly. Yeah, I agree.
I'll take a week and I'll knock the whole series out, 2 at a time during workouts or something, but yeah,
I'm enjoying it. My 18-year-old son Josh, who's been my Star Wars pal from the beginning, is enjoying it just as much as I am. So
if you were going to put this first season against a season of one of the other animated series, would you say it's like third season of Clone Wars, or would you say
I
it's
was
like,
just
because
gonna
that's to
say
me when
like
Clone Wars
third.
came into its own.
yeah, this got on its legs much faster than
Okay.
either Rebels or Clone Wars did.
Good, excellent.
The characters were very defined from the beginning, and they've gone in positive directions, I think.
Good.
So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm quite a bit. I will put another show out there that is done now, but season 4 of Handmaid's Tale on Hulu wrapped up, and I mean I'm in for the long haul on this thing just because I've been watching it with my wife since we started watching it. But as dark and as effed up as the first 3 seasons, but different in that, and I hope I don't spoil this for anybody. She finally gets out of Gilead and is sort of rescued into Canada, and still dealing with aftermath of that. So it was good because it wasn't more of the same old thing from the first 3 seasons. But what a screwed up premise and show that is.
Oh
So-
God, I made it through the first 2 seasons, and I just was so depressed. It was such a chore going back to watch the next episode, and it was like, yeah. I know this is good social commentary, but oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It's brutal.
It's hard to say that it's enjoyable, but you feel like you've kind of made it through.
And there's no question it's well made. It's no question it's good. It's good acting.
And
It's
she's
also,
great in it.
I got to say the book is terrific. It's brilliant for what it was, and in the time that it was written, this goes beyond the book, and I'm still not convinced that was necessary. So
Right. And season 4, like I said, season 4 just ended, and I think they've said there is a season 5 coming at some point. Of
course
but
there is.
Not this year, so. All right, Dave, what about you?
I am watching season 7 of Bosch, which I've talked about before. I still love it. I mean, it's just like a solid cop show, And there's a ton of, I don't know, are there a ton of cop shows anymore? I don't feel like there really are. There used to
just
be.
kind of like most of them are either
There's like
Law and Order
Orders
type
and
things or
CSIs.
CSI kind of things.
I've
Yeah,
never
this
watched
is like-
any of those, so.
Neither have I. This is like, Hollywood homicide detectives, based on the books, Titus Welliver, whatever. is in it from Lost and a million other things, but it's still great. This is the last season, and then I think there's going to be a spin-off without him. But they, again, no spoilers, but in previous seasons they'll kill off.
Yeah, I saw the first
major secondary
first 2
characters,
seasons, and I liked it. And I never, for whatever reason, I never went back, and I will at some point, and probably when it finishes, because then I could just binge it and know that.
Yeah, and it's only like 8 or 10 episodes per season.
Right, yeah.
I'm sort of savoring it.
And
it's got the girl who Carol asked to look at the flowers,
Yeah.
and then shot her in the back of the head. Madison Lintz, all grown up, is in it. Who else? No one else. I mean, there's a lot of character actors, but
he's
solid
great
cop show.
in that. The thing I really like about him is he doesn't look like your Hollywood leading man kind of guy. He's got this very kind of lived in look to him, but also very capable of being a badass. And he's just not somebody you should mess with. But at the same, and again, you can look at this guy and say, yeah, this guy would be a homicide detective, because he's got the look like he's seen a lot of shit that no one should ever see, but he's also capable of doing whatever it takes.
And it's funny, and they do sort of, I don't know if they highlight it, but they push it. Like, you look at him compared to all the cops, and a lot of the cops are sort of your typical, like, overweight and all this stuff. This guy was a homicide detective. Then, as in the character, then when, I guess, Desert Storm happened, he re-upped into the military, did a tour or two in Special Forces, like in his 30s, and then came back and just after 9/11. It was after 9/11.
And then did like movie consulting or something, right? Because that's why, doesn't he have the fabulous house because he was like
the way they portrayed in the thing was that they made a movie of based on his life, and he paid for it with, and there's a
I thought he was like the police consultant for like films, and that's
no, it was just one case that they used, and they wrote the story. So I think one of the Black Rain or whatever, not Black Rain, one of the books that he wrote is a movie poster in his house that he's basically this paid for my
See, I
this
thought
crazy
he was like,
house.
I thought he was like the cop they hired as a consultant, and
he wouldn't do that.
His money. For
totally wouldn't do it.
Okay,
this version of the character.
It didn't seem congruous with who the character was. Like, he just didn't seem
kinda,
like somebody you would hire and tell you this is how you hold a gun.
He has disdain for that, but it's like, at least they paid for this house. That was basically about it. But I love it. I mean, it's definitely one of the better cop shows I've seen. So check that out. The other thing I'm watching is Renovation Island on HGTV. It's awesome.
Is there a new season of that?
Yeah. Did you watch the first season?
I did watch the first season.
It started a couple weeks ago. I mean, it's another. Okay. I've liked this guy. It's this guy Brian Baumler and his wife. I've been watching him on. He's in Canada, but he's had a bunch of home renovation. He's sort of the real deal. Not like these Property Brothers. No offense to them, but he's like a real builder guy. And that was what. And they bought this resort in an island in the Bahamas, and it was. They were going to renovate it. It was 3 times worse than they thought it was going to be. They were down there 3 times as long as they thought they were going to be. Completely renovated it, and then COVID hit. And now here we are in the midst of COVID in season 2.
Yeah, just like my house.
But this guy's loaded. You should see his house in Canada. And his wife is definitely, way involved, and they fight.
Yeah, she's like the designer person. Yeah,
she's cute too.
Yeah, I watched the first. Yeah, she's cute. I watched.
I can't believe she had 4 kids. Yeah. Anyway,
one other.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to throw out one other show. I have not finished this yet. I keep watching a couple episodes and going back to it, but Shadow and Bone on Netflix is actually pretty good. It's I kind of feel like it's a young adult thing, but it's done very, very well, and it's if you're into like kind of fantasy totally created universe things. It's like I said, I like it. It's good. They've renewed it for another season, and I'll probably finish that up in the next week or so. But
something that I haven't watched yet, but I want to watch, and I want both of you to watch it, and we can talk about it next week. On Disney Plus, they just put up a Simpsons short that's called The Good, the Bart, and the Loki. It's a Loki.
I just
spin-off.
read about it. It came out today.
Yeah, it just came out, so I want to catch that. That's supposed to be good.
I watched the first 3 or 4 episodes of Halston, and if you're looking to see Obi-Wan Kenobi, don't watch it.
That's not it. Where you find
It's
them.
just not. It's not it at all.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? It's like there's certain things that like you will watch just because the person in the geek thing that you like, it's like I can remember as a kid watching pretty much anything that William Shatner was in, and then just like every time being like, yeah, it's just not Star Trek.
Oh, I went to see Corvette Summer because Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah,
was
no,
in
this is what I'm saying. But it's like geek legs. But I remember.
Yeah.
Like,
I knew going into it. I'm like, we just had nothing to watch. We're like, let's watch this. Could be. It's interesting because it's
Maria
a real
watched it.
dude.
And she liked it, but she's more of into the fashion stuff anyway.
It's okay. I mean, it's just not. It's not Obi-Wan as you want to see him.
yeah.
But I mean, the dude was crazy. How like basically, J.C. Penney bought him out more or less. It was crazy. It was like anyway.
All right, so there's a few other things, and you guys have both seen the Tomorrow War. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, we're going to talk about. Weren't we each going to talk about a movie? Did you
Were
have a
we?
movie?
Okay, we can do that.
What movie did you have?
I don't have one.
I thought you did.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
you were bad
This
batch.
is going well.
Yeah.
Well, go through the other TV shows. We'll talk about.
Well, okay, so a couple TV shows. So there's on HBO, there's a show called The White Lotus coming up that looks like it could be interesting. It's got our girl Alexandra Daddario in it.
Ooh.
Ted Lasso's coming back for a new season on Apple TV Plus. Which, if you guys haven't watched it, I know I raved about it last year. You really should watch the first 2 seasons. It's just 1 season. First season was amazing, and the second season comes out on July 23rd.
Yeah, I just re-upped my Apple Plus since my free subscription ran out.
I
Yeah,
have till
mine
the
ran out,
25th. I'm on the fence. I'm thinking seriously about like letting it lapse till what is
Yeah,
it,
but
$4 or something.
With Foundation coming,
That's what I'm saying. Foundation, and then there's an Invasion series that looks good.
I watched the morning show, which comes in September. That
Yeah,
was
there's a
worth,
new season
worth
of that.
watching.
I'm telling you, and look, I'm not a sports guy. You know that. Ted Lasso was great.
Well,
You guys
women
would
like it too, or no?
Yes, Maria loved it.
Oh, maybe I'll watch that with Pam. We have nothing to watch that. Everything I watch, she's like, "That's disturbing. I can't sleep now." I'm like,
Watch the first episode.
people
you'll be
get
hooked.
decapitated all the time. It happens. What's the problem? Why
Nobody
are you so
gets
uptight?
decapitated in Ted Lasso that I can remember. She'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. It's fun.
I'd enjoy it more if someone got decapitated. No,
yeah, but
kidding.
there's foosball in it. You'll like it.
That's not compelling to me. Okay, so
It's good. It's a great story that happens to revolve around sports. It's not a sports.
Okay. I'll give it a shot. I don't mind sports movies. I like Rudy. I like The Natural. I love Moneyball. I don't know why.
Oh, you know what I watched actually that in that vein that was great it's a Netflix documentary about Kurt Russell's dad's baseball team from the 70s.
Oh,
You guys know anything about this?
No.
He had an independent minor league baseball team that he ran for like 5 years in the middle of the 70s and took it. The MLB removed the team that they had, and I'm forgetting exactly where it was, but it's up in the northwest. Might have been Seattle. They disbanded the team, and he came in and he put his own team in. He hired everybody. He ran it himself, and they were selling out games like crazy, and they were winning like crazy to the point where the MLB got pissed off and started bringing people down from the majors into the minors just when they were playing against this team so that they wouldn't win the pennant.
Really? That's interesting.
And it was Kurt Russell's dad, who apparently grew up like in baseball. And
Kurt
it's
Russell
a
played
fascinating
or
story.
got-
Kurt Russell played minor league
played-
ball.
Yeah, did he? I know, or I thought it was Major League, but maybe. Yeah.
And he's
Interesting.
he's in this documentary. He talks a lot about his dad. It's only an hour and a half long too, so it's a nice short. It's called something like The Bastards of Baseball or something like that. But look for it on Netflix. That was a really fun movie. Documentary short thing, but it was good.
Interesting.
And again, I'm not a huge sports guy, but it was a story I had never. And my dad, who had been visiting, who's a huge baseball guy, had never even heard of this team.
Really? That's interesting. What did he do for a living other than that?
He was an actor, but he grew
yeah.
up around baseball. And then when his acting career started to, wane a little bit, he started this baseball team.
Interesting. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so Barry mentioned the Tomorrow War, which we won't give spoilers if you haven't watched it, because Barry hasn't watched it, but Todd and I did. I really enjoyed it. It's on Amazon Plus. Amazon Prime. Jesus.
Something with a P. It's either Prime or Plus. Or
it was
whatever.
supposed to, again, another one of these movies, supposed to come out last year, but Amazon, I think, paid $200 million for it. And it was almost broke the Amazon records and stuff.
From the trailer, it looks very well done, and I'm excited to watch
it is well done. I think it's a cross between Edge of Tomorrow and Starship Troopers. It's not like this heavy, meaningful, deep, but it's the best action I've seen outside of a Marvel Universe movie in a very long time. And it is the best sort of out of theaters movie that was supposed to be in theaters that I've seen since COVID. I mean, and I've watched everything, everything that was supposed to be in the theaters that I wouldn't have even gone, I've watched, and this is by far the best thing. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, so I will say the action is very good. Okay, yeah, the action's very good.
The story's
premise
fine.
is,
what do
the
you
premise
expect?
is absurd. There is nothing in this movie you can't devote 1 second of thought to anything happening in this movie because it's just absurd. And basically, if you put yourself in this premise and you think what is the wrong decision to make at every juncture throughout the film, that is exactly what the next thing that happens is. And
that's good. So
but it makes for a great action movie. There's no question, because they're in a lot of situations where there's a lot of shooting and aliens and stuff. But it's like, we're not, and again, I'm trying not to get into the premise too much, but like I said, it's, with every time travel movie, there is an element of suspension of disbelief. Very few approach the level of disbelief you need to summon to get through this film. It's
I don't know, but I think I love the way, and it's funny. They, as something comes into your head, and it doesn't. I'm not really giving anything away. Of like, why don't they just do this? They answer it on screen of like, well, you can't do this because of A and B. And I thought that was at least they were explaining it. Some people,
the movie, somebody kept pointing out, standing there, and saying,
but some people explain nothing.
It's really absurd that, and it's like, and I again, like I said, I the action was great. There's no question that whatsoever.
Fun. It is the fun movie of the summer, as far as I'm concerned. J.K. Simmons was great. Conspiracy Santa. Yeah, that was funny.
Okay. But there's, again, I'm not gonna spoil it, but like I said, there's certain things that are just the implausibilities in this thing just stack up on top of each other, and
Independence Day didn't. It's the Independence Day of 2021.
Oh, in Independence Day, the premise was so much better. So much better than this. There's no question. But put it this way, the solution to the central problem is ridiculous. Okay?
Wait a second. Now, I love Independence Day, but
of course you do.
Going up for the laptop and somehow inserting a computer virus into the alien ship is completely ridiculous.
And Barry, it's like
this is almost the
is
exact same thing.
Art compared to
That's
the explanations
so not true.
in this film. Okay, it's
Barry, you watch it and let us know.
You watch it, you let us know. It's just, but like I said, it's yeah.
It's the first movie I've enjoyed that I've watched,
and there's no question. There's no question.
It's totally enjoyable.
Just disconnect your brain. Watch.
As long as it's fun, I'll be happy.
It's
I'm
fun.
not that hard to please.
Yeah. Barry, here's a little exercise for you. Look for the time when someone actually reloads in this film, because it doesn't.
I know, and I'll give you that.
Okay,
that did. I was hoping for. I thought about that. I was looking for someone to be like, What's in those? Oh, just like the aliens.
I was expecting
caseless magazines.
That's what I was expecting. Somebody to come up with an explanation.
There's so many freaking shots in this. They easily could have threw that in there.
But it's like there's these.
Oh, these are different. Oh, yeah, it's caseless. Has 100 rounds.
People with no training whatsoever are just firing hundreds and hundreds of rounds, and no one reaches for a magazine. And it's.
I'll give you that. I hate that.
There is a shot where there's a guy like loading the guns at one point, and he's got all these magazines. He stepped in front of him, set in front of him. It's like, okay, well, you were the one with all the ammo. Because
that's not as bad as in Ant-Man when they zoom into the ants on the gun and they added a hammer in post to the Glock.
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't catch it, but again, this is like I said, it's for what it is. It's yes. If you just strictly look at this as an action movie, really don't think about this one. It's yeah.
Well, let's talk about your recommendation, Todd.
Oh, good. I haven't seen it. Barry has something to say.
Can you talk about this without spoiling it?
I can.
Okay.
You want me to talk about your movie for you?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. Well, it's called
Archive,
and I so wanted this to be Ex Machina. I love Ex Machina.
Okay, but they've already made Ex Machina.
This wasn't Ex Machina.
This is Black Mirror and Ex Machina together. I almost wrote that to you guys.
Yeah, and
Ex Machina is Black Mirror,
but it felt like an episode of Black Mirror rather than a movie. And it felt, you really raved about it in that text, and I was really looking for something to watch, and I sat down and watched it, and I was kind of like, this is what Todd thought was so awesome.
Well, there's not a lot of shooting of aliens, okay, and
there isn't any shooting of aliens.
No, there isn't.
Barry, you like my movie better.
Okay. Again, I liked it.
It was a sad robot.
It was a sad robots. Yes. Okay.
It's a sad robot that commits suicide.
It is. Okay. You're ruining the film. Okay. It's yes. There's a sad robot, but again,
is she played by anyone as up to Alicia Keys or whoever?
Alicia Vikander.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing. They're both very attractive.
They tried. It was like a poor man's Alicia Vikander.
Dave, you watch it and then you tell me. Okay.
Oh, Dave's not going to watch it.
No, Dave, seriously, Dave, you should watch it.
For Barry Kay to say something's bad,
why don't you
it's got to be very bad.
Give all the reasons why you enjoyed it, because maybe I missed something.
I thought it was. It approached kind of conventional things unconventionally. I also did. Barry, have you seen Moon 9?
No.
Okay. It's got Moon 9 undertones.
Well, that you should have said.
It
was very, to me, it plodded along. It was very slow.
Oh, I think there's a lot of things to try to figure out, and I think there's a lot of things that can't be figured out. Dave, you're going to have to settle this one. You are, and if I can respect if you take Barry's opinion, but it's very much again. It's a
what's it on?
Amazon.
Maybe this will be the Terminator. What's
Dark?
it called?
This will be the Dark Fate.
Dark Fate is awesome.
Sci-fi.
Maybe this will be like Dark Fate, where I'm completely off base and you guys love it.
Like
you are off base
Moon
on Dark
9,
Fate.
I'm not going to say The Martian, but again, it's tough having a film with one principal character who just has interactions with other people, though that's kind of been our lives this past year. Again, like I said, I liked it, and I've talked to a couple of other people who really liked it, and
I will give it this: it was well done. It looked good. I never looked at any of it and said, "Oh boy, that."
And that's the thing too, Barry. I think, like I said, it's well done. It was well. I'd like to live in the set. Okay. It's kind of cool. And did you see the end coming?
You know what? It definitely has a twist. I'm not going to ruin it. It definitely has a twist ending. I'll give it that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Because honestly, I see everything coming, and I didn't catch on to this as quick as I should have. So
One thing I will say, which gives away nothing about anything, but when those two vehicles showed up at his place,
yeah,
the one small and the one very large
Yeah.
one, there's no way that large vehicle could have turned around and gone the other way to get out, and yet it turned around and somehow went out. It was a very large vehicle on a very small bridge with no ability to turn around.
wow. If you have an issue with that, you're gonna freaking love Tomorrow War. Okay, because if that's honestly what bothered you,
But you
about
know what
this
it
film-
was? I was looking for things. I was like watching this intently,
Yeah,
like
I agree.
looking for
'Cause
things. and
I think that I
Did you
assume
when
that
you
thing
said
had-
Moon 9? Did you mean Moon?
Moon, yes, yeah, sorry,
Moon with what's his face in it?
yeah. Sam
Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, it was Moon. Okay,
Wasn't Moon 9?
there's the same guy who it's Moon 2009. It was made.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
The same dude directed it.
Yes, yeah. So, anyways,
Oh,
yeah.
maybe.
I
don't know if he
like that
directed it.
movie a lot. I did like that movie a lot, and there are similarities, but
Oh no, he didn't direct it. He didn't direct. He worked on Moon.
yeah. So there's
you know what? And again, I don't want to give anything away. You talk about Black Mirror, and it very much had elements of the Haley Atwell episode of Black Mirror in it. I thought.
again, okay.
it didn't
I'll
feel
say
original.
this. I'll say this. Yeah, robotics guy is trying to recreate his wife. Okay, I mean that doesn't ruin the story.
Is
Okay.
he wearing that green sweater?
He is not wearing a green sweater, but
was it
it's
green?
it's also it's Barry. I won't say it goes anywhere in the direction that goes. And
No,
and-
but it just
but I
didn't
also
feel
think
original to me.
I think that's a central theme through stuff forever. It's like trying to get back a connection to a lost one, a lost loved one, and the fact that is impossible. And I think
The other thing that I had a problem with, and again, maybe I'm getting hung up on the little things, but the technology that was employed to store the wife's essence, they said was not digital, that it was analog.
well, again, there's
As soon as they
Right.
said those words, I'm like, that's stupid. There's no analog way of storing somebody's soul and whatever. You would have had to have
Barry,
converted
just stop
to
talking,
digital.
please. Okay. There's reasons for that. Okay, yes. There's
All right, I'll watch it and we'll see. Barry watches Tomorrow War. I'll watch Archive, and we'll all watch the baseball documentary.
Yes, watch the Bastards of Baseball.
Bastards
Have you
of
forgotten
Baseball.
Bastards of Baseball? I'm going to look up the actual name of it while we talk, because
So,
I don't want to
Have
miss.
you, on movie, neither of you will probably watch this. I'm just going to throw out the Batman: The Long Halloween, the animated adaptation of one of my favorite Batman comics came out. It's very, very good. I think a lot of critics like it better than I do, but I'm very close to the source material. But I think it's very, very good. And if you like the DC animated stuff, which is far superior to the DC live action stuff, definitely check it out. And that's
All right, so I was close. It's the Battered Bastards of Baseball.
Oh,
It's
that's
a
close.
2014 documentary, and it was the Portland Mavericks. I think I might have said Seattle. It was Portland. Really good, though. Definitely worth watching.
Okay, so this week.
Oh, you know
Black
what? Just
Widow.
real. So right. So Black Widow. We were gonna just mention a couple other things that are coming out that we didn't. So Black Widow.
yeah.
Snake Eyes is coming out in theaters only. So that's if you have to be motivated to go to a movie theater to see it.
No.
Then we've got August 6th, Suicide Squad, The Suicide Squad, not to be
The Suicide
confused with
Squad.
Suicide Squad.
Boy, James Gunn his Twitter is just like it's just constant
Yep.
talking about that. I mean, as he should. Nothing's wrong with that.
Right, and then one that I'm looking forward to because I literally heard about this I think 2 years ago and it's finally coming out is a Ryan Reynolds movie called Free Guy, which comes out on August 13th, which looks like it could be fun.
What's that about?
It's a video game based movie where I think he's actually a video game character in a video game, and I think they pull him because they need him to help save the world or something. I don't know. It looks like it could be fun though.
Is that in the theaters only?
I think that's actually going to be on HBO Max.
Oh, interesting. Really?
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to look that
No,
up.
it could be. Because I've been going through all the HBO Max movies and I didn't see that in there.
Could be theaters.
So by the
only.
time-
Let's see.
By the time you're all listening to this, I will have seen Black Widow, and my hopes will be crushed. I've been looking forward to this movie for, somewhere around 11 years. My hopes will either be crushed or I'll be very, very happy. So that's what I'm doing on my birthday. So it's also going to be my first time in a theater for a public theater in a very, very long time.
Are you going tomorrow night?
Going tomorrow evening, yep.
Oh.
8:30 tomorrow night. So
So that it is. Yeah.
got my Black Widow
He's got
t-shirt
his-
on. So,
It does
He's got
look
his
like
Emma
it's in
Stone
theaters only,
T-shirt
by the
on
way.
for some reason.
Yeah, it looks like
It
could
does
be
not.
almost anybody.
anyways, but
Could be almost anybody.
so
Yeah, I think it's in theaters only. It's a 20th Century
pass.
Fox movie.
Passing.
Yeah.
My Alamo doesn't open till August. I mean, I'm certainly not going to the local theater near me. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, that's an August 13th movie, so go see Free Guy.
It's not getting me to the theaters.
That's not getting you to the Alamo.
Yeah, I don't know what is.
So Todd's seeing Black Widow in theaters. I'm seeing it at home. Dave, you're doing it at home?
I am seeing it at home. Especially you mentioned that, not that it matters, but when you pay, so Black Widow on Disney Plus is an extra $30, but then you own it.
Yeah, it stays in
According to
your
Barry.
Disney Plus library.
Yeah.
You
And
own
I
it
paid-
as long as you keep paying for Disney Plus.
yeah,
Which is great.
which is pretty close to what I paid to see it in the theater with a bunch of other strangers. So
Well,
Yeah, and I'm going to be taking 5 people to see it, so it's actually a lot less
yeah,
expensive
oh
for me.
no,
to
it's
do
it's
that.
it's a good choice. So
And I'm
We're
going to hook
doing
up
the
my new
Alamo
AV
thing.
receiver before I watch it, so I'll have my Dolby Atmos system.
Have
set
you
up to
hooked?
watch
You haven't hooked it up yet, or you
it.
have?
I haven't had
No.
time because my
No, I'm
parents
just-
are
no,
visiting.
okay.
No, it's literally sitting in a box on the floor.
Yeah. We're having special themed drinks just like the Alamo. We're having Black Widow pizza with little spiders on it and everything. No, I don't know
nice.
what we're doing. I'm not doing that. But we
Themed
should.
what would your themed cocktail be for that?
Well, with the theme
You
cocktail.
could do a White Russian.
You want to know something? We're going to have White Russian. I'll even let Mark drink one.
There you go.
Because he makes fun. He goes, what's this? I always talk about White Russians. I think that was the first drink I had.
Or
Night
as the
Train.
dude calls them, Caucasians.
Caucasians.
Right?
Yeah. But maybe we're going to have some White Russians. You should have Black Russians, actually.
Oh, that's even better. Yeah.
But she does wear white in it, and Black Russian's a little strong.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. So
That's the theme cocktail. Excellent.
I think
Yeah.
maybe you have both. I think you just like if it's going really
isn't a
badly,
black-
if it's going
he wants
badly,
to make it
you
through
dig
the
into the
movie.
Black Russians.
The Black Russian is what? Just Kahlua and vodka?
Yeah, just get me the picture of Black Russians.
That's strong.
Be like, Dave, how'd you like Black Widow? I don't know. I fell asleep after 20 minutes.
I know. I'll go to the Alamo and I'll have a beer once, but if it's a movie that's important, I don't really even have a drink. Not that it's going to put me out, but maybe at the home. Yeah, I think excellent. Thank you. Good thoughts. Let us know what you're drinking during. Oh, you know what? Next time, Alabama Slammers. I haven't used to drink those in college.
I'm now feeling bad that I'll be drinking a $7 soda.
I know, right?
Yeah, you paid $30 for the tickets.
I know,
And
oh,
then
yeah,
you're gonna
no,
have
it's
$7
just-
soda
hey,
and a
it's-
believe
$20
me,
popcorn.
Fully
That's the
expect to go in
problem
there and get
at Alamo.
Yep.
You go and it's like, even for 2 people, it's like $100. It's crazy.
I'm used to that. I go with a family of 5, and we bring a lot of our own snacks, but we always buy popcorn, and yeah, it's easily $100 for 5
That's the
people.
and, like you go and buy a popcorn, but no one wants to share a popcorn because it's too, so you got to get multiples. The Alamo is a bottomless bowl of popcorn too.
I know, but then you have to leave to go refill it, which I'm always like,
No, they serve you.
Oh, well, at the Alamo, at my movie theater, you buy the big bucket and it's bottomless, but then you got to leave and go.
Oh, it
have
is
them refill
bottomless?
it. The big bucket is.
So
I
I
don't
used
know if
to.
I don't know if we could get away with it anymore. When the kids were younger, we used to bring brown lunch bags.
Yeah, that's
and
what
buy
we
the
used to
big
do.
popcorn and fill them up and give everybody I don't know if I could get away with that with them anymore. They'd be like, Dad, it's
Well,
embarrassing.
you could do it in your house.
Yes. Yeah, I can make my Costco microwave popcorn. Everybody
You
can
fill
have their
the
own
bags
bag.
and then send the empty bucket back for more. Yeah, it's good.
I actually bought the special butter oil and the salt that movie theaters use to put on it. I was reading some home theater magazine.
And does it get you that flavor? Because
It's
movie
pretty
theater popcorn
close,
is
yeah.
a very specific flavor.
It is. It's pretty close. I mean, If you're worried about your salt intake, it's not good for you. But this stuff, it's got this yellow, buttery texture, this color to it. It totally makes it like and you could do it in a microwave. We got one of those silicone microwave popcorn things. If you use those,
No.
oh, those are great. Get one on Amazon. They're way better than you could cook it even just with nothing. This is fascinating for everybody, but
Oh God,
it's just
we're still
us
recording.
yeah, but it's like Amazon's. It's like the number one popcorn maker. Instead of making, you could put any popcorn in it. You could put butter or oil or salt on the kernels, and it pops in this silicone tub. It's awesome. We have two.
I need one of those.
Yeah. Okay. Enough. That's the popcorn minute. Barry's going to make a bumper for that.
I could.
No, don't. So next week, Black Widow, some other stuff, the trilogy thing, Loki. It's just there's so many good things coming up.
Sounds like a 2-hour show next week.
Yeah. Well, no, that's not all in the same show. Those will be different shows.
Well, we got stuff. We got stuff in the hopper.
We have stuff. And thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.